I'm always reminded when I turn on to Hunt Road how barren it is. Imagine coming from Seattle and all the green and ending up in the middle of a desert and then living in a tar paper shack and it's 6 degrees. I was born June of '43 here in the camp hospital. My parents got married right before the evacuation. They had planned. My mother was one of the older isseis in Seattle, and they had this big wedding planned and everything. And then with Executive Order 9066, they just got married in a church with 2 witnesses and decided that if they were going to be evacuated, or they had no idea. My grandparents expected to be deported. This is my grandmother, Tsuru Hirai, and my grandfather, Otomatsu Hirai. Eventually, we stayed here. I was born and raised here. I graduated from Twin Falls High School, graduated from Idaho State. So I'm an Idahoan, not by choice, but whatever. I never realized until probably I was in my 20s working in Southern Cal, and I volunteered to go to the Manzanar pilgrimage. And I never understood until then what the incarceration was. My parents never talked about it. My mother's friends would come and were in camp with her. They would talk amongst themselves in Japanese. So we had no idea what they were talking about. My parents would load us in the car and we'd come out here, and it was just a big weed patch. And the guard tower was still there. That basalt building was there. And we had no clue. I mean, we were either the dumbest kids or the most naive kids. But nobody, even my high school friends, we didn't talk about camp. And now, almost 80 years later, we've finally begun a conversation. And we had a reunion last September. And I brought a group of people out, and we all said, nobody talked about it. My mom always referred to it as the lost years. And I suppose revisiting it was very difficult. The harm that was done to the incarcerees and that sense of, I don't know if it was shame or fear or uncertainty. I hope that's not passed on to 3 generations away from me, and that the experience of the incarceration and how the Niseis and the Isseis not only survived it, but prevailed, is something that my great nieces and nephews can value.